What's going on, horror lovers? Horror with Hoss coming back to you with another video. And this one I'm going to be doing a Dollar Tree Theater. This is a video I've actually tried to do before, but I found I didn't really do a good job of describing it, so I thought I would re-record it. And that's going to be my review of the 2019 movie, The Dawn. This is what I found. Of course, I had the slipcover there. It's directed by Brandon Slagle. It's 1 hour 30 minutes, so it's pretty long. I guess you could call it a type of slow burn type movie. I'm going to break this into two parts. The first part I'll give just a brief overall description of it so you know about it. Then I'm going to have a spoiler section, so if you don't want to hear any spoilers, you would need to click off that point and I'll let you know. So this movie is set sometime after World War One. It actually shows setting as Pennsylvania, 1922. You meet the character Rose, at this point played by Taylor Grubbs, roughly around 10 to 11 years old, and she's meeting with this man named Quayna, who I believe he's like a grandfather of hers, a great-grandfather or something, but he's basically talking with her about the earth and how you need to understand the earth, and it's dealing with a Native American type belief system. He hands her an amulet that he's been having hang around his neck that he tells her will protect her throughout her life. We then go to, she goes home, they're preparing dinner, and the father, William, is outside working on something. He's getting frustrated. He comes in, and there's an allusion to, before he comes in, that we're going to have a good dinner and to basically not do anything to upset him. So it gives you an indication that something's bothering William, or at least that something might set him off. Well, apparently he had fought in the war, of course, and so he has a bit of PTSD, I guess you would call it. He has a flashback during their dinner at which it upsets him, and he starts talking about people that he knew from the war, and it's like he's not even there, and so he ends up storming away from the table. This, of course, is upsetting to everyone else there. Later that night, an event happens. I'm not going to tell you what that event is, but it leads to Rose having to go and live somewhere else. She goes to live at a convent, and then it flash forwards 10 years later. At this point, Rose is played by Devani Penn, and she, her, I guess, closest friend there would be Sister Ella, played by Stacey Dash. Stacey Dash is one of the ones that has still not taken her final vows, so that's something that's talked about during this movie. But you can tell that even after all this time that she's been there at the convent, that something bothers Rose. Maybe it's something from her past, something that she can't get over, but you get the impression that something's bothering her. As the movie goes on, you see that there might be something more sinister at work. She confides in Father Theodore, played by David Gorel, I think is how you say his name. And she meets with him multiple times, kind of confiding in him, telling him things that she won't tell anyone else. You start to wonder if she's really meeting with him all these times, or if she's hallucinating, imagining it, because there's another character, Jeremiah, played by Ryan Kaiser, who seems a little bit of like a creeper. Rose mentions earlier in the movie where he's always staring at her around the convent when he sees her places. Doesn't talk to her very much, and ends up hearing one of her confessions that she thinks she's talking to Father Theodore, but he's nowhere around. But she thought she was talking to him. So that's what I'm saying. These things start to weigh on her. Not to mention she has a recurring dream of a exorcism taking place in which she is the person who the demon is being exorcised from, but she doesn't know why she's having these dreams. During one part, you see there's a black hand that is coming up behind her. You see this black hand, and you can't really tell if she sees it and knows it's there, or if it's like a thing that is just showing the audience to let us know that there's something otherworldly at work. So I'll kind of leave it at there as far as to set up this movie, and the ending. I guess I'd say the last 20-30 minutes of it kind of amps things up there, and is where most of the action takes place. So at this point, I'm going to move to the spoiler section. So if you do not want to hear spoilers, you probably want to click off here now. Basically, the event that sends her to the convent is William, her father. He murders everyone in the family. It's like wife and at least 2 to 3 other kids, and is going to murder Rose, but Quayna, the man that I told you he gave her the amulet, he comes there to take the focus off her so she can escape. But it's essentially he murders all of them with a hammer that he had, and so she keeps remembering on that night when this happened. There's a clock that's ticking, and this tick-tock keeps echoing throughout the movie. And this dream that she was having about the exorcism ends up taking place. And Jeremiah is there to confront her about things. Especially there's this diary that she had been drawing in throughout the movie. And it shows, as far as what we can see earlier in the movie, that she's drawing things like a bird that she sees out on a limb. But he shows her what she's actually been drawing is like demons and very evil things. And so they're going through this exorcism, but she ends up attacking and killing everyone in the room with the exception of Jeremiah. But it does allude to the fact she might, because she ends up throwing him out of a window in this building. So you assume she throws him to his death. But we find out later, right before the credits, that he is still very much alive. She basically sets the room on fire after she's killed everyone, and it kind of, I guess, gives you the indication that maybe she's doing that to kill herself so that she will not have to continue on in this torture, I guess, that she's just being put upon her. But right before the credits, you see there's a train that's fixing to leave, heading to Long Island, New York, and Jeremiah, this character, is boarding this train, and he has the book that she had been drawing in, that Rose had been drawing in. And so one of the things he looks at on there is a picture, and it shows a picture of the Amityville house. So if you're familiar with the Amityville horror, you know about that. And it ends up having some post-credit text where it talks about that this Jeremiah character goes to be the leader of a church in the town where the original DeFeo murders happened, and it talks about the connection between this Native American curse and this evil, and how it connects to the actual DeFeo murders, which inspired the Amityville horror. And as it starts to show the credits, it has the dawn separated, and in the middle it puts Amityville. So they include this as part of the Amityville movies. So I don't see a lot of people mention this one when they talk about the different Amityville movies, because there are so many. But even though it doesn't say it on the title of the movie here, it reveals that at the end. So to my understanding, they include this as one of the Amityville movies, even though it's, kind of a stretch. So I don't know if they added that after the fact to try to make this more relevant, or to possibly get more people to see it. But it was something added in there. Watch it, let me know what you think. If you really think it belongs in the Amityville movie series or not. I'm not sure exactly where it would fall, but I guess it would have to be like a prequel in a way, since it happens before the DeFeo murders ever did. So, but that's it. That's my review. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Click the notification bell. That way you'll know every time I upload a new video. Hope all of you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.